Okay, thank you all for coming. It's 7:35. I was going to, oh, here comes Matthew Tollefson. Great. First item on the agenda was to welcome new members. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Sean, for introducing everyone. So I guess we'll start by saying goodbye to members who are rolling off, which is you. So, hi, Matthew.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you for coming.
Hi.
So we've just started, and we're going to begin by actually thanking Sean. This is his last meeting, and he's been a fabulous committee member, really hardworking and really, really good about, scrambling to get to meetings, even if it's just on my cell phone. Thank you, Sean. And Matthew is coming in. I saw the email. You haven't actually signed the oath of allegiance yet, but
I plan to. I'm sorry. It's just my printer's downstairs. The whole basement is gone, so we're setting everything up. So nothing's ready. So
it's okay. You just got it yesterday, I think. So
do I need to give some blood or anything? Is it like a blood oath or?
Yeah, that one.
Just firstborn male child. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, I got one of those, so I'm good.
Welcome.
Matthew lives on Frank, and I met him through Sean because Sean had a list of people who wanted trees, and Matt actually wanted 3, and we've got him on the list 2. But he knows the neighborhood. It's a very good neighborhood, and it needs a lot of trees, and he's sort of taking over, talking to the neighbors.
Sure.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And Joe Colombo, who is not here, is reappointed, so that's our committee. Did you all have a chance to look at the minutes that came out yesterday, I guess, or 2 days ago, 72 hours in advance? Gail, you're muted.
Yeah, I apologize for being not being timely.
Don't apologize.
Yeah,
it's pandemic time. I'm amazed we're even all here on the right night. So,
Matthew, I just wanted to tell you there's one more member, Wendy Zoland, who is not in attendance at the moment.
actually, Matt, I should introduce everybody. Nora Lucas is our trustee liaison.
Mm-hmm.
Not a voting member of the committee, but she's incredibly hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going around I'll go down below her on my screen is Gail Kohler, who is the co-chair with me.
Okay.
Then Marlene Starr is next to her and looking very comfortable tonight. And then on my screen, just above you, is Ellen. Oh God, Ellen, I just did it. Ellen, who is our recording secretary.
Okay.
And, so there we are. And then Wendy Zolan, who is not here tonight.
And Frank Colombo and some Colombo?
Joe Colombo, who
I want to say, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the roster. Wendy's term expired. So she is not on. She was right.
She had one more year.
No, she doesn't. So she knew, that's why she's not here. She knew her term expired. So she can't be, she has to take a year off. So you're 1 shy.
Yeah, okay. So we still have a seat to fill.
She couldn't come tonight either. I mean, when did
term expired? Yeah, the annual organization meeting was Monday. So everything rolled over on Monday.
Okay, so everybody, oh,
3 years.
Sean, what?
She's in for 6.
She's in for 6. That was her second term, but I thought she had another year of it.
how is Sean able to be here, but Wendy
He's visiting. He's visiting.
Oh,
Wendy's welcome to attend. Anybody can, and you have
okay.
right. But just FYI, because we're doing it on Zoom under these rules that allow us to meet under Zoom, not in person, nobody can attend via a cell phone on someone else's screen. You have to actually, have to be on your own screen to count as part of the quorum.
He's not counting as part of the quorum.
No, I know. I'm just saying, just in the future. He's somebody who's an attendee. That's all.
Yes.
A
Okay.
welcome attendee.
Thank you. Okay, the minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes? Okay, hearing none.
great. I just had a question. Did I have all the right people? That's the one thing. I thought there was somebody else at the meeting, but I could have been wrong.
I did not notice that. Oh, there was somebody who was, you got the
Yeah, I
person.
had her down, yeah.
Yeah, there was only one,
Resident.
there was
Okay,
only one resident.
okay, thanks.
She spoke several different times though during the meeting, so that might be what confused you.
There-
I have a motion to accept the minutes.
I feel like there was something, I'm just trying to open it right now.
Okay,
And can anybody, I'm looking, you sent it today? I'm so
Yes,
sorry that I'm looking for.
agenda.
I sent it out on Monday.
It's under the,
I sent it with correction. I sent corrections
Oh.
that were
Oh, you
posted.
did?
And I
Okay,
will give you the corrected version of it, which is what I circulated it, which is what.
Oh, please, no, please forward to HCM. Okay, let me just put it up here. December minutes.
It's the October minutes.
Oh, sorry. Was that the title?
yeah, October 28th.
Okay, draft, got it. Oh, no, this is, I think this is, okay, this is it. No, this isn't it. It's not, this, this is actually something really neat. Sometimes when minutes are mentioned and the thread goes on and on, it's a different subject, then it's hard to find things if they're not mentioned in the subject. I'm having a very hard time finding it right now. Can anybody else look for it?
It was right at the bottom of Joe's email. I mean, of Robert's email. Under the agenda.
Mhm.
but did he get revised ones?
Okay,
Got
attachment,
it for me.
Okay. thanks.
okay.
Just to make-
Attachments,
December
got
9th.
it. I got it. May I share this?
Sure.
Okay. Share. Okay, does everybody see that?
Yeah,
Yep, I see it.
Okay, just make it as large as I can. Okay, I'm sorry, there was something. I apologize for not having this, doing this beforehand.
Gail, was it about the nursery, maybe?
Like it was something about near I-95. Mentioned, she drove tree walk. Could we go on to something else and come back to it? I'm sorry. I feel like this isn't right. I apologize.
okay. Would you stop the share then, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, are there any residents present, Nora?
No, there are no attendees.
No attendees except for Sean, who's already said hello. Okay, correspondence from residents. We have, there is some other correspondence that shows up under other items. But specifically correspondence, we have actually 4 communications from the resident at 130 Beach. The first of them is a repetition of something that's been sent previously regarding the need to plant trees in neighborhoods without canopy. And then email has attached copies of all the previous correspondence. This is something we've been working on for a while, and we'll talk about it under the tree law, but it is something, it's very important, and we haven't been able to do it until the new tree law passed. So we'll get to that. Next email was urging the Board of Trustees to cancel the fall planting and sent copies of prior correspondence. That's because the prices went up, and we'll talk about that under the fall planting. The next email was asking to have the, I don't know, ANSI standards. Those are the pruning professional pruning standards posted on the website. This is something that was talked about when I met with the planning board. And I remembered subsequently that the reason we didn't do that, we just have copies available in the office for people to consult, is that they are copyrighted and we can't post them. I have asked Jerry, I just thought of this today, whether it's possible that whoever owns the copyright has put them online. And if that's so, we could make that link available, but we can't publish it ourselves. And then the final email was asking for a copy of those stickers. So those are all attached. Old business, trees for maintenance and removal. Is something we do.
Bev, I'm sorry. Can I just quick go back to the minutes now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, we did.
There were 3 things I noticed. 2 have been changed, so not an issue. And the third one is just my name is spelled G-A-I-L, and that's it, not G-A-L. Like everything
I'm
else. was
sorry,
good
I
for me.
keep doing that because I have my sister-in-law in my brain,
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay, but everything else was changed since I read it the first time, so sorry about that.
And our guest from last time was the Haas, H-A-I-S, not Hain, H-A-I-N. There's an S at the end of her name.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's H-A-I-N-S or H-A-I-S?
H-A-I-S, just
Thanks.
S.
I will, and Ellen, I will send you the one, or I can send you the copy that we're working from right now. So these changes that you just got will go on that. Okay.
Okay.
So may I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, Marlene, second.
Seconds.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Minutes are moved and approved unanimously. Okay, back to the trees for maintenance, removal, or evaluation. The first one, which is attachment 6, was from Saxon Drive. It included, I believe, a photograph of wires running through a tree. And they're actually not the Con Ed wires. They're lower. They're the telecom wires. And they were asking to have the tree pruned around the wires. In fact, that's the responsibility of the telecom company. And so they need to contact them. The next one was, is it Papes Park, Pappy's Park? Does anyone know? How it's-
Papes, P-A-P-E-S, Papes.
Okay, and where is it?
It's in Washingtonville on the
Yeah.
corner of Madison and Old White Plains Road.
So is that the one in front of the swim tank?
It's sort of across the street from the swim tank, yes.
Okay, across from swim tank.
Mhm.
Anyway, there was a question about utility wires, and I don't know whether that was followed up. It went to the village, and I don't know whether they followed up with Con Edison, or I just don't know, but across from,
I'm gonna look.
it's a very small,
It's a very small, like a little pocket park, very small. park.
yeah. Okay. 749, I think this was from you, Gail, on 749 Bleecker, that's in Orienta. About apparently a tree that you saw is marked to come down, but it is in fact habitat for the egret, not the egrets, for the birds of prey. What are they? It's your email, you don't remember.
They're the ones that.
It's not habitat, it's, well, maybe it is habitat. Anyway.
Everybody just froze for me. Not
Okay.
a hawk, osprey,
Falcon?
osprey.
Osprey, it's used by the osprey. So you were asking whether it could be pruned instead
It
of.
was-
Now everybody's frozen.
It wasn't marked to be taken down. I
Oh.
requested, it has some dead branches way up high. It's a very tall tree. It has some branches up very high that are clearly dead, and they need to be pruned, like removed, the dead branches. And we very much, the residents have asked, and I totally agree that that the tree not be removed, that it just be pruned because it is a very popular feeding
Okay,
spot for ospreys who do nest in the area.
have you had a response on that?
I have not gotten a response on that.
Okay, I think, yeah, that's one we should follow up on because I do think that's really important. And yeah, I mean, I mean, pruning dead branches away is a really important thing, and I know it's expensive. So if we at least ask for it on important trees, you know, that are forming some function, I think that's more justifiable. I know I have a village tree that I have permission to prune every year, and it's the only shade in a very hot, very large intersection. And I mean, it could keep going for 30 years if it's properly pruned. It no longer drops branches even in big storms, so.
Bev, can you do me a favor and just, what is the address again? It was across the street from an address on Bleecker.
749 Bleecker.
Thank you.
And okay, then the next one, which
Wait, Beverly, I don't see that attachment in my email, but I was just, is that, oh, is the Village of Amerenik supposed to prune it or the people?
it's the Village of Amerenik.
Okay, thanks.
And the last one here is vandalism that I stumbled over on a village tree. And I did send a photograph. That was 9A. I also sent the correspondence, but 9A, which went out with the minutes. I don't know if you all saw it, but the tree is a cherry tree that was planted in that tiny little park just around the corner from Village Hall on the Boston Post Road, just over the river. You know, it's just benches and
Phillips Park?
that, no, Phillips is behind. This is on the East Boston Post Road, just as you turn the corner.
Oh, Mamaroneck, it's like just past Mamaroneck, like where the regatta, when you're in the
Yeah, it's just
regatta on
around,
somebody's balcony looking at the water.
Exactly. It's right across the river, you know, the water.
It's that little park on the Post Road.
Yeah,
on
and there's
Bridge.
one planting space, and it has a cherry that we put in about 10 years ago that is so pretty to have there. And, you know, there's the water and one. Anyway, I had actually pruned this tree about a year ago because I think it must be on rootstock because it was sending up all these roots. And I was walking past there a week ago, and somebody has cut off all of the branches, you know, and if you look at the photograph, it's just stubs now. It's a small, still small, but it's the stem of the tree and then these sheared off, completely chopped. So I asked Jerry whether the village had done that, and he checked. You'll see that in attachment 9. He checked with both Parks and DPW, and they have not done it. So it's vandalism. I don't know how you protect against that. It is really upsetting that someone would do that. I don't know why.
Do you think they did it when it was blooming?
No, it's been done recently. Because I walk by there a lot, and it looks like fresh cuts.
Isn't there some construction near there?
Yes.
It was, but I don't think this would have in any way interfered with the construction. That's a good question, though.
I think it's called Megan Park.
Okay. MEIGHAN.
MEIGHAN. Oh, let me check the spelling.
Okay. There was a lot of construction there, but it's hard to believe this would have interfered.
Yeah, it just, you know, who would vandalize a pretty cherry tree, right? I mean,
I know. And why one that's so prominent? If you're going to vandalize a tree, why not do it someplace sneaky? Anyway, I've learned by just the pruning, you know, realizing that a lot of times when people make bad cuts on trees or break them, it's because they're actually interfering with either pedestrian space or parking space, and they don't know that they shouldn't do it. But this one was not interfering with anything. It was just a really pretty tree. Anyway.
Are we going to replant, Bev?
I guess. I don't know. It's kind of discouraging. If we put a camera on it, maybe, or an electric fence around it. Anyway, on to the tree law. I met with the planning board, and attachment 10, I didn't realize I'd attached these, are some comments that they gave me at the meeting. They have asked for some changes in the law. Most of them are simply to make it consistent with other village laws, and it's something, it's not going to be hard to do. And they've told me what to do and where it is. So, I mean, I don't speak code particularly well, but at least I can try to get this in motion. One of them, however, was really interesting because they, we have now the requirement, if a tree is taken down, we have the replanting requirement. And although we modified it so that it's not as many replanting trees as other places have, they say they have a problem when they're reviewing the plans for some commercial properties because they have often not a lot of space, and they need a lot of space for both the building and then for parking. And they would really, it would be very helpful for them if we had a tree bank, that the places could donate trees to the village. And they had I've since then received a very specific example from them. I explained that the reason we didn't do the tree bank is that we don't want developers, going over and clear cutting a property and then putting a lot of trees in the tree bank and ruining a neighborhood. But this is a little bit different situation. And I mean, we would try, I think, Nora, can we structure it so it could apply to commercial and not residential?
Yeah, yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say that would be the case. And if what I think you're talking about is correct, that there are situations in which there isn't space to plant a tree on a commercial property.
Yeah.
So,
Or at least as many as required.
this also wouldn't be in conjunction with a tree removal permit. It's in conjunction with
Planning board.
the planning board. So, they're looking at this holistically. So, I think the step would be for the tree committee to figure out what the plan would be, and then send a note to the Board of Trustees. We're meeting Monday, and then we don't have a real meeting again until January to see if it could be, and then just send it to the Board of Trustees to look at what the changes are, and you could send a marked up law.
Okay.
Or you can just send us an outline of what you want, and then the village attorney would work on the law if there's 3 board members that want to make the changes.
Okay, so you're having a work session on Monday?
Yeah, but it's that agenda is set and it's pretty full, so.
That's your last one. Okay, so it would be in
Well,
January.
then we have just a short meeting, the 27th, I think, which is just to pay bills. And then we start back up again in January.
Let's go to that. I'll try for the January one. Okay, and then I have one edit that I need to send to. One place we said DBH is measured at 4 feet and the other at 4.5. And I Googled it today and it's 4.5 feet. So that just has to get fixed. But the tree bank idea, she actually, the chairman, who is Kathy Savolt, sent me, they have a property plan in final stages with them right now that needs that sort of thing. And they're taking out 6 trees. If they followed our replanting requirement, they would have to plant 10. They don't have space. They had been proposing planting 2. And I said that, the point of the law was to build canopy, which they are not doing. And it's a hot space. It's right across the street from Amerenik High School. So they've increased it to 4 trees. And then they would like to put the balance in a tree bank, at the moment to donate them to the village. But I mean, that's an example. They just don't have the space. So is it all right? Should we vote that we should consider this, Nora? I'm not, I
yeah,
can work on it in
that's a
other
good
words.
idea, but I'm just looking at the calendar. I think you should just sort of vote in theory that you want to discuss it, because your next meeting isn't until January 27th,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so our next full meeting is January the 10th, and then we have January the 24th. So if these seem to be if they seem to be changes that you could all go through tonight.
Other
otherwise-
changes are not worth going through because they're just making it consistent with code.
Okay,
But
this is
I
really
think
the only substantive change.
it's the only substantive change, so far as I remember. So maybe do people, how do you all feel about it? Should we consider this, try to structure it and suggest it?
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Anyone have any problems with the idea?
I have mixed feelings about it. I understand that it's really hard with very limited sidewalk space to make room for a tree. So in that way, I like the idea of a tree bank. On the other hand, those areas are so much the areas where we sorely need trees on the post road. It is really a heat zone, and that heat spreads out. And I'm wondering if there's some other option. Like I remember years ago many years ago, I walked with the village manager, a different village manager than we have now, along, what's the street with the storage unit and, in the flats, I can't think of it, Waverly.
Waverly.
Walk down Waverly. We did get trees on one side of Waverly, but on the other side, there are no like tree wells, there's no space. And we talked about creating tree wells. And I'm wondering if that's something that we could do. So I have mixed feelings. I don't want to burden store owners. It's it's hard enough running a business anytime, particularly this time. But it does, having trees out front does increase foot traffic. It becomes much more comfortable for people to walk along and step into a store. I just, I wonder if there's another option of creating tree wells, if we could do that, pull out a square sidewalk, or I don't know what, but.
Why don't we go and, Gail, do you want to work with me on this? We could look at it and see if we think there's a way for.
Love to.
Yeah.
I think, Gail, that's a really good point. I mean, I'm not sure about all the policies and all this tree wells and canopy and stuff, but I know for a fact, I mean, I take my son to a soccer game across from Amerenik High School. And that's the area you're talking about, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And trees would do so much for that area. And, I don't know what would stop them from having it. I'm not sure what the issues are, but I understand. I totally agree with your hesitation on perhaps not going through with additional trees, because it really is an area that would really benefit from it. Yeah.
Okay, we will see if we can think up something. There are a lot of areas that describes, actually, because they have, and Matt, you may not know, one of the statistics that we've discovered in the course of shepherding the tree law through the last stage is that whereas the amount of canopy cover that's recommended to get the full benefit of trees, everything, heat and air quality and everything, water, carbon, is 40% minimum canopy of mature trees. The Village of Amerenik has 25% canopy. That's actually, it's very sparse. It's actually probably lower. That was satellite imagery from 2016. And lost trees since then. We've planted trees too, but they, it takes them 30 years.
Sure.
So, okay, so is it okay with all of you then if Gail and I look at this and try to come up with some ideas? We may even go back to the planning board in an informal way and then send them on as suggestions. Possibly a way to come up with some modifications, I don't know. But to the trustees for their January agenda. It's okay?
Yes.
Do we have to
Absolutely.
be authorized as a work group, Nora?
Yes.
You know, I mean, you're making recommendations to the board of trustees. So you know, I mean, you've made the decision that you don't need to, I mean, you have authorized a work group, basically.
Okay,
And, you know, ultimately, the case has to get made at a board of trustees meeting and the village
Yeah.
attorney has to change the code and there's a whole public process thing. So,
yeah, I know that process now.
yeah, so that's where the public process is. And you know, I think if you can figure out how to, you know, figure out a way of solving this, that would be beneficial.
Okay. So we'll get to work on it over the holiday. So I'm not doing anything else over the holiday. Okay, I also have reached out to HCZM a couple of times to see if they have any changes, because I just as soon do this once. And I have not heard back from them. So I don't know, maybe they think it's a wonderful law and they have no changes.
What is HCZM?
A Harbor Coastal Zone Management Committee, is that it?
Yep. You got it.
They're one of the 3 land use boards. The planning board and the zoning board, I think it's the other one.
Yes. And Board of Architectural Review.
Oh, I
They're
didn't
all
know they were there.
land.
Okay. Next up, I met with Robert Ingenito. Is that correct? Robert, our Robert, he's very media oriented, and we talked about the tree law and the major points because he wants to distill it in a way that can be bite-sized pieces so people can understand what's in it, and then go read the law if they need to know it, but it's an easier way in. I showed him the FAQ that we had, and that's, you know, certainly a good start as well, but he's going to work on that. And he's taken that part over. The other meeting that I had was Rhinebeck High School has a group called Action Research Students. I think they're either seniors or juniors and seniors. This is extracurricular. They work with a faculty member and they take on a project one at a time that is somehow social justice or community oriented. They research it, they come up with, you know, they do surveys. After based on their research, they interview residents and then they create a plan. In this case, they're very interested in the tree law and how to motivate residents to value and protect trees, because we have our law, which is great. It's given a lot of protections we haven't had before, but now it has to, the next steps, we're not finished. There are 2 next steps. One is enforcement, which Jerry is working on. And the other is just to get people to embrace it so that we don't have to enforce it, so that they understand the benefits of trees and why they, you know, why it's good for them to, you know, think of themselves as people who are protecting the environment by protecting their trees. So that's going to be the thrust of their work. Since it's an academic project, it's not going to be a fast turnaround on it, you know, but it'll be during the school year. And I think that's good. I think this is an incremental thing we're working on, and I'm glad somebody's doing that.
Great. But I would say one other step though, general awareness. I don't know if a lot of folks.
I think you're right. That's part of what Robert's project is, which is to distill it, and then he will think, I'm about to sneeze, sorry. This is very difficult. Because because a lot of people don't know. They're the neighborhood associations. Some of them have distilled, like Orienta, I think, has sent it out. Shore Acres, where I live, has not sent it out because there are going to be some changes in the law, and we were waiting until we knew what they were going to be.
Mhm.
But, and there's some other neighborhood associations, but you're right, dissemination is really important. People really don't, and we don't want the first time they hear about it to be when enforcement shows up because they've already cut a tree down.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to burn a bridge or two.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And you want to get them on board beforehand.
Yeah,
It's interesting. It's interesting how you get people to understand the stuff you guys
Yeah.
know so well. It's not easy. I don't even know how you do something.
no,
like
we've run into, just by planting the street trees over the years, I've heard so many objections to trees, everything from, I don't want to rake, to I might slip on the leaves, or the roots might grow into something, or I like the view, or the latest one, and I got it 3 times this year, was my children run around in the yard and I'm afraid they'll run into a tree.
that.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I know.
New York City Parks Department, I talked about this a couple years ago, or a few years ago, puts tags on new trees, street trees, saying like, hi, I'm your new, whatever it is, sugar
Yeah.
maple. One side tells you all about the tree, another, and how to care for it. The other side tells all the benefits. And then there's one of those QR scan
Oh,
Oh,
squares where you could learn more about it, or learn more about, a tree program. And I always thought it would be great if we had something like that. It just, people are curious, gee, what's that tag? And they
that is a good idea.
might look at it. And
I know you've talked about
I
it
think it would be a
before,
good
but
idea.
somehow it's sinking in now. Does anybody have any time to work on that? Okay, I mean, we could just start.
or mention it to Robert. I mean, it's probably going to be the same stuff he's already trying to disseminate anyway. It's just a new way for him to get it transmitted to the public.
I don't think we had a Robert when I first.
Not.
proposed
He's
this
new and he's
idea.
really
So,
trying
yeah,
to
that's a great
Yeah.
idea. Now we have a Robert.
I mean, we could start with just making up tags like that for the ones that are going to be planted.
We could. In the meantime, I'm going to email Robert about it. I'll do
Okay.
that.
Great.
Okay, there's been some enforcement excitement under the tree law on Henry, your old neighborhood, Marlene.
Yep,
The
right across
15
from my old house,
Oh, really?
directly across. Yeah,
So you know all about it. 1523.
I was 1524.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God, well, aren't you glad you're not there now?
Yes.
It's gone on over a series of time. First, we heard from a neighbor that the residents had done themselves a lot of clear cutting on the weekend when nobody, well, we do have enforcement on the weekends now. People don't know this, but in fact, there's somebody in the building department. But so we asked building inspector to go over there Monday to look at what they'd taken down, which was a lot of trees, but only one of them fell into the protected category of being 8 inches or larger. And he did issue a violation for that one. This may be one of those situations we were talking about where this was the first time they'd heard about the law. But they also had a lot of debris strewn in the gutter and sidewalks, and the violation was issued on that as well. Or at least they were told they had to clean it up. Order to remedy, I guess they're called. Then about a week later, they moved professional equipment onto the premises. And we were told about that in advance, and they took it down on a Saturday afternoon. I do not know whether they, at that point, knew they needed a permit or not, because I haven't spoken to the building inspector since then. But I guess we should find out. And it's really stark. I mean, I don't know why people do this. It's just really barren now. you haven't, did you know the people? You must know the people, Marlene.
No, no, I don't, because they moved in after I moved out.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know them.
oh.
Does anybody hear like somebody shuffling paper or munching on something? Oh.
You hear it or that?
I'm not doing it, but I do hear it. But
Okay,
may I
Sean, I think
suggest
it's
that
for
if
me.
we're not this, anybody who is not speaking, mute themselves, and that should take care of it.
Sean,
I'm
can you-
not sure if
think
I mute
it's coming from-
myself, I'm not
Okay.
sure that it'll capture the recording.
Okay.
It's
I'm
Sean,
afraid-
isn't it? It's
It's
Sean,
Sean,
right?
he muted, he muted.
I knew that. I knew
How'd
it.
you know that?
Because it's Sean.
It's always the problem. Anyway, he's muted now, and that's much better. Thank you, Sean. Okay, a lot of excitement around the new trees. As you may know, we originally, it was late this year, but we had a list for planting new trees. It was later than we usually do it, of 130 trees. And it, you know, it's actually, it wasn't too late in terms of planting because they would, you know, it's good to plant them when they're dormant before the ground is frozen. So November and December are actually pretty good times for planting. So I gave the list to Jerry and it came back in November, and it came back with a price increase against last year. The low bidder was 160% higher than last year's prices. So what was about a $35,000 order, which was the budget for trees, was priced out at $110,000. So I immediately reduced the list to 36 trees that were only trees that I knew were going places that people wanted them, because I figured that, you know, we could plant the others next year and nobody would matter. I also cut Marlene's tree because I figured it was family holdback, but basically I cut it down to 36 trees and then went to the trustees meeting to explain why I thought that these trees should go in, largely because we really should not be interrupting the planting of, you know, the steady flow of new trees into the village, even if it's a reduced list. And they agreed, I think it was a 4-to-1 vote, to go ahead and order these 36 trees for this fall, which Jerry then got in touch with the grower. Then the grower came back and told Jerry two things. One was that because it was only 36 trees instead of 130, he didn't know whether the discount, which got us to 160% price increase, the discount would be in effect. And second, that his grower would not guarantee the trees, which is something that we like to get, a 1-year warranty that they're going to survive. Consequently, the village decided, but that if we planted them in the spring, we would get the warranty. So the village has decided to put the planting of those trees off until spring. I mean, the good thing is at least we have the list and we can order them the very earliest
So
date. What? So we're
I'm-
not planting this fall.
this is the first thing I'm hearing about it. And I guess my question is, what happens if prices are lower in the spring? Are we committed to this?
I don't know the answer to that. It's a good
Okay.
question.
That's worth checking. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. What if? And then we will,
Beverly, I do have a question. When you reduced it from 130 to 36 trees, how were you able to do that?
I knew what the prices for each species were.
No, but I mean, how did you know this one, we're not gonna do this one or that one? Like, how do you make that decision?
Well, I knew in my own head where trees, you know, who wanted trees. We'd always rather plant trees in front of properties, the village trees, in front of properties where we know people want them, if there's a choice.
Okay.
A lot of people don't care. Some people don't want them, but certainly, I'd rather, if I've got to make a choice, I'm going to put it where somebody wants the tree. I've got to go to 30 to 36.
And I think we've just FYI, we've been asked to move trees, even though the village has the authority to plant trees in the right of way. People have asked the trees be moved, so it just seems as if, since we can't plant trees everywhere that we'd like to, it's better to plant them where at least the residents are appreciative and don't ask the village to move them. There are some communities that actually send a letter ahead of time.
We do that now.
We do that now, but we hadn't done that.
We didn't do that in the past. Anyway, so we're going to plant those 36 trees in the spring. I will find out about the pricing. And then the balance of the list in the fall, excuse me, which is when we usually do our planting. One thing that I'm considering is trying to do at least part of that list as bare root trees, because those are less expensive and they're actually, generally they tend to be healthier, and they're smaller though. And people are often disappointed by their tree initially, but they grow pretty quickly and catch in, and then they settle into their spaces really well, because their roots are finding their way more than one that comes wrapped in burlap. So that is one way of coping with the price increases and getting more trees. So we have time now to decide. They may not all be that way, but there are some locations on that list that I think could actually handle bare root trees very well, better than they could do the bald and burlap. So in that sense, we have time to figure that out.
Beverly, I noticed that the Harbor Island has a whole bunch of new trees.
Yes, those are from the Harbor Island Conservancy.
Ah, okay.
They're over in that corner at Rushmore, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, that's from the Conservancy.
Got it.
So that's not a village budget.
Okay.
Somehow I was under the impression that like a couple years ago, we had switched to just doing bare root.
No, we did a couple bare root last year on Brook Street, because they could not handle the larger root ball. And that was all. It was just a few trees. But that was when we realized what a price savings it would be. So we talked about switching over, but we didn't do it. And we may want to do it everywhere. We may want to do it as a hybrid if it's really a lot less expensive. I mean, if the prices stay this high, we may want to do it everywhere. But
It's also the trees, it would be interesting to study, like to really follow up on specific trees, like, because what I've heard is that they may do better in the long run, trees that are bare root than ball.
No, I think that's a lot of people have said. I mean, that's kind of well thought. What you do get is a lot of disappointed residents in the beginning because they're much smaller. In fact, one of the bare roots was put a place, actually it was across the street from Sean's house. Sean, your neighbor who had over the years had 2 red buds and a cherry put in. He has a long stretch. And then and then we had an extra bare root. I think somebody declined it. And so that was put in too. And as I was walking around looking at locations this fall, he asked me if I thought that tree was okay. And I looked at it and it was full of buds. And then I explained to him about the bare roots. So he was happy, but people don't understand. They just see these little shrubby trees. Yes. So
maybe if we had those tags, explain.
We had those tags.
Please don't be disappointed in me because I'm small. I have a chance of growing into a much bigger tree with a longer, healthier life.
It's another education thing.
And my name is.
Yes.
Exactly. Hi. I'm so excited to be part of your house.
You could be my citizen pruner.
Yes. Okay.
Adopt a tree.
Adopt a tree. Yes. Yes. And also, we never really closed the circle on having the village put mulch rings around them.
No pun intended.
I know. So I guess now we have the time to make sure that happens too. The reason we wanted the mulch rings really was so that is to protect them from trimmer damage in the early years. So that really damages a lot of trees and kills a fair number of them. But there would be no reason to trim right against the tree. Gail, you had a question though. We talked about planting tall trees under power lines, even though Con Ed does horrible things to them.
The reason I brought this up is not to have more power outages. I was looking at tall trees on Rockland Avenue between the Metro North Bridge and Palmer Avenue. On one side, there are no wires and the trees are tall and beautiful. I believe they're sycamores or London plane. They might be the London plane actually. And that's on the Sarah Newman side. And on the Palmer Terrace Co-op side, the trees are tall, not as beautiful because they were pruned, like severely pruned and growing in funny shapes. However, they provide a
She froze.
tremendous amount of shade. There's canopy the whole length of that street because of those trees, even though they don't look so pretty. So none of them have ever fallen. I don't know if it's the species. I don't know if it's, I can't say why, but it's a fact. And I wonder if we too quickly make that decision. That if they're going to be pruned to be an ugly tree, we shouldn't plant them. Or
do you know when Con Ed started pruning them?
I don't, but some of them you could clearly see they are cut right below the wires. Then you have two big branches coming out. So I would guess, maybe 30 years ago.
I don't think they were doing it 30 years ago.
Oh, one tree. I'm pretty sure it goes, I think it was like that when I moved here. So
Really? Okay. Because my concern, apart
yeah,
from
I've been here quite 30 years, but for some of them a long time ago, for some of them not so long ago. You can kind of tell by the scarring on the trees and also by how they were pruned. Long ago, they used to prune branches flush with the trunk, so that it could not heal properly. And then you see the decay in the trunk. And you could compare that to other cuts where they healed over beautifully.
Yeah.
Those are more recent cuts. Anyway, I just bring it up because we need canopy, we need cooling. And I've said it so many times, but this area is like 10 degrees cooler than a street without trees. Wouldn't it be lovely to have that everywhere?
Yeah.
That everybody should have these lovely, cool spaces to enjoy.
My concern, I don't know the answer. It's probably something to discuss with Jerry since he's an arborist. But I would think that in the long run, this is why I asked you if you knew when they'd done it. In the long run, the trees are going to die sooner because it's pretty brutal pruning that they get. But I don't know, if it was 30 years ago, I don't know whether that qualifies as shortening its life.
I think street trees, as you had mentioned, they're war horses. They take a lot of abuse, and
And they
it
don't
might be
live
that
so long as
30
trees.
years is kind of like an average lifespan.
Well, I hope not. I mean, 30.
I hope not too.
I mean, but a street tree, whereas those trees might live 180 years if they were just living even in a park, but in the woods, they'll live 80 years, but they're very productive at 80, more so than they are at 30.
That's very true.
It's worth looking into and asking about it. I am concerned about it. On the other hand, there's sort of a gleeful part in my mind that thinks we could just make Con Ed have to spend more money.
Well, the other thing that we could think about is just
Well,
what,
the other
what Doug
side of it
Talley
is that
said.
when they are pruned like
Sorry.
when they're pruned like that, it also, you know, they're lopsided.
Yeah,
They're probably more prone to dropping branches. I mean, you know, there's a lot to consider.
yeah, yeah, and more like, I mean, there may be a danger to them because they could fall in a strong wind. It's sort of an open question, I guess, at this point. We should find out more about it. I want Con Ed to bury their lines. It's my next life. This should take me to the end of my life, this project.
Don't say
Would
that.
somebody like to volunteer to do a little bit of research on that? On that subject?
The effect of this pruning.
Yeah, like, right. Is it
Long-term
worth it? What are the benefits and, you know, what are the problems? And because Con Ed will prune them, and then what happens to the tree? I don't know. Would somebody like to do some research into that?
No, not me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, the other thing we could do is just plant trees more close together than we have been doing, because based on what Doug Talamy said at his webinar, there's nothing wrong with that, for, especially for the oak trees, that they can be planted pretty close to one another, within reason, but you know, that's something we could think about.
Yeah. So Matt, you were gonna say something.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, yeah, I would love to take on the research that you were talking about. I'm not 100% sure what the question is, Gail, but I mean, that sounds like,
Okay,
I mean, just
that would be great.
start, just so I could begin.
Yeah, that'd be great. I guess the question is, what's the long-term effect on trees of this, you know, pruning, the pruning that kind of does.
Sure. Like,
So
how long does a tree survive with that
Right,
pruning
that's a good
versus?
that's a good, and how
Yeah.
safe is it? Are there dangers associated with it?
Sure,
That would be great. That would be
I'm gonna
great.
try.
Thank
I
you.
don't know, I'm gonna have to ask you guys.
I will tell you that coming up in a little bit is going to be a tree that apparently died because of Con Ed pruning. I don't know where it is here, but I remember writing it down, so.
Oh, yeah, it was on Prospect.
Do they pay for that? Do they put something in tree in the bank or something for that?
They should. It was
Yeah.
on Prospect off of between Fenimore and Heathcote.
Yeah, is that on, it should be on the agenda somewhere and I don't see it. Oh, yeah, it's under new business. Okay.
Okay.
Tree removal is just one. And it fits your project perfectly because there's just one tree and it's attachment 15 here. So you can see what it is. But I was thinking that we should just start keeping track of trees that have died or had, become dangerous in some way.
Well, look at that atrocity on Stanley Avenue, the tree outside the community counseling center that they completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyways, we should start to keep a record of it because I think that's probably a good first step for taking them on.
Yeah.
Regardless of what
Isn't that part of the tree? Isn't that part of the tree inventory?
the condition.
Well, but it's when something is removed, that's part of the.
But I don't know if they are noticing, I don't know what information they're collecting exactly, whether they're, they're reporting, I know they're reporting condition, but I don't know whether it's as a result of pruning. I don't know I don't know what information they're collecting.
Well, maybe that's a good thing to ask to have added.
Okay.
So that when Con Ed's taken it down. Or when Con Ed has been trimming, really.
Is it possible to have some kind of procedure that when Con Ed is working in the village to do removals or pruning, they just let us know?
They've said they would do it before, but they were pruning on my street about a month ago and I sure never got a notice.
Well, not
we don't know who gets a notice in the village. That's
Not just an individual, but like the village itself. Do they have to answer to anybody, or they just can go wherever they want and cut trees?
well, I mean, I think it would be in the perfect world, they would let the village know, but all of those trees that were removed sort of between Harmon Drive and 95 near the Girl Scout house, on the village and town border. I know that Steve Otis and Shelley Mayer have gotten very involved trying to get Con Ed to do the right thing. So I think the bottom line is they can do what they want to do on their property. They can do what they want to do. And so I think it's more of a carrot than a stick to try and get them to do the right thing.
They're governed by a state.
Oh, that might have been Metro North. I'm sorry, that might have been Metro
Yeah,
North.
that was Metro North, I think. The Con Ed is answers to a state, and it's not an agency, it's a something, but it's at the state level. And after one of the big storms, maybe 20 years ago, they were basically told they could do whatever pruning they think is necessary. So that's why we've never been able to intervene. And it's true, if I lost my power for 2 weeks, I would be complaining along with everyone else.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's why I want them to bury the lines. But anyway, okay, that's.
Which they did, by the way, Matthew. The lines are buried on the Merrimack Avenue downtown area.
Yeah, but that was a village initiative. The village got
Right,
community
I
development
know.
block grant money, and it was.
But that's what it looks like. It looks beautiful.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap though, right?
No, it's
No.
very expensive. But
And then when there is a repair, it's more expensive.
yeah,
You have to dig up to repair. It's more expensive.
we always say that, Nora, but every single new neighborhood that's been built
Yeah.
in the last 20 years, the
In new
lines.
neighborhoods, right? Because they do it as part of the infrastructure when they're building a new neighborhood. And I think that it's less likely to have a problem because you don't have the problem of things coming down in storms. But it's very expensive to dig up existing roads to put infrastructure down.
It is, but I honestly have never, I've asked, no one listens to me, but I would like to see numbers showing me what, if you took the last 10 years of storm damage and the cost of bringing crews in from Alabama and all over the country and having them stay for a couple of weeks to do the repairs. Plus, now that so many people work remotely, the cost to consumers of
Not having
lost
power, yeah.
productivity. And if you extrapolated that out 20 years, I would like to see how that compares to the cost of capital, something that they would amortize over 20 years, which would be converting the power lines to an underground grid. And they won't do it. They just say it's too expensive. And then they'll say it's, it'd be harder to repair, but that doesn't really hold up because if that were really true, they wouldn't be building all the new neighborhoods with underground power.
And there's also a cost that you can't calculate, maybe loss of lives, inconvenience to your customers. Like there's so many other factors to put in. I mean, the cost must be really high.
The cost
They
of
will
losing
consider
power.
it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're high, that they won't compare that to the cost of burying the lines. I mean,
Well, because they don't have to. So, I mean, I think this is a conversation that, that a variety of tree committees and local governments and need to
County
have
level,
with
yeah,
state
I agree.
electeds to see what the bigger, there needs to be sort of a bigger tipping point than one community.
No, but we can start by getting in touch with other communities.
Mhm.
Anyway, long-term project, now that we've got a tree law.
Yep, right. Maybe this project isn't as long-term. Look at that way, Beverly. You might be faster.
It could be. Okay. Next item is planting beyond the right of way, which is really exciting thing. It means that, again, I'll explain to Matt, at the moment, the village, in front of every house, I think we talked about this at your house, there's an amount of land where the village has the right to go in and plant trees or lay sidewalks or put in, whatever it is they need to do. And up until now, well, a few years ago, New York State passed a law that said local governments, if they wish to, could authorize planting their trees on the private property beyond the right of way if they have the permission of the property owner. And that was really exciting for us because in Mamaroneck, in the village, there are a lot of neighborhoods, Washingtonville being one very good example, but there are a lot of others, where the property is small, the streets are narrow, and there is no place to put a tree in the right of way. And as a result, they're not getting these advantages of canopy that we're talking about. But now, and for this, coming list, I had put together, Gail and I walked around last summer and, could see that there were a lot of places, specifically in Washingtonville, this was before the flood, where on private property, they could accommodate either tall or small trees, depending on how big it was. But I went back after the law passed and made a list of about 20 residents on about 3 streets to start with. We'll have to get written permission, we have to write to the owners, we have to get written permission to do it. We probably won't get it everywhere. There are more streets to do it on than those 3. But I think this would be a good place to start. And I'd like to start now. So maybe since now our major planting's been put off until fall, the larger list, we can work on that letter. Drafting the letter, and the village needs to identify the owners. I think some of those are not occupied, they're rental properties. So we need to identify the owners. Do the planting, but that's something that it would be really great to move forward with. Get trees in those neighborhoods.
So Beverly is saying we need to just draft a letter to the property owners?
We need to draft a letter for the village to send these property owners. I have addresses. And we need to find out who the property owners are. That can be, I think that's something that would be done by Jerry's staff, is identifying the owners. But it would just be helpful for them, I think, if we gave them a draft of the letter. They can change it, but it's always easier to change something than it is to create it. So that's sort of a project for the next couple months.
So after you send a letter, do you actually guys go out there to the door and talk to the folks, or?
With this, I don't know. That's a good
29 people.
I think I told you that I don't. You and I started.
We do not. People in the tree committee do not go out, except sometimes somebody might have a special request. We might go out, but in general, we don't.
When doing the list in general, I don't talk to them. When for example, with you, because Sean had said to get in touch with you, I talked to you, and on your street, actually, I talked to everybody because Sean gave me that information. But when I'm doing 30 locations on a street where I don't know anybody, I don't go to every door and talk to them.
Sure.
But then the village does send the letter. It would be great in a way to do that. First of all, we'd know if they don't want it, but second, we could, explain to them what kind of tree they might have and what the benefits are. But
sometimes people don't read their email or the mail, right? I mean,
I know. Well, to do the beyond the right of way, we'd have to have signed permission come back. So we would have to follow up with that if we didn't get it.
Sure. So I'm new here, so I'm gonna ask stupid questions. I apologize.
Great question. They're great questions.
There's
Oh.
no such thing as a stupid question.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail.
Do you have another question?
Oh, no, I was gonna say though, every once in a while you guys see me go away, it's because one of my kids is here and
Oh.
asking something from my pup or something, if I'm
It's
just.
okay.
That's
get-
life. That's life with Zoom.
Yeah.
Like I said, someone, okay, hold on, all right.
I'm curious to know how the tree inventory is coming along. There are 3 high school volunteers, I hope, still working on it, but that Jerry's the person they're working with, so we'll have to find out from him some other way.
We
2
shall.
things that are coming up. What I wanted was also hoping maybe you know about them, Nora. There's the dog park and the essential worker tribute update. Those are both going into Harbor Island Park in spring, early spring.
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's the case. The dog park is still in the planning stages, and there's a proposed site from the ad hoc dog park committee is Harbor Island Park. And then but that's the proposed site. It hasn't gotten to the board of trustees yet. And the essential workers park is sort of a little bit on hold during the pandemic, but hopefully the Arts Council will be able to get some more traction with the village.
Yeah, Gail and I actually met with Marina, who's chairman of the Arts Council, and Jerry, and a landscaper who had done the Poets Corner,
Yeah.
and talked about it. Change. We didn't. I don't think it was well. No one really quite knew who everyone was or what stage we were at when we got there. So I thought that we had this final plan, and Marina had never heard about it at all. So we ended up changing what we think would be a good idea, but there's still more.
So, I mean, there was just a conceptual thing presented to the board of trustees. I don't think they have a full plan for it yet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Ellen, can you please mute? Can you mute yourself, please,
Oh,
Ellen?
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Anyway, the most recent design concept is not a full circle, which is what the last chairman wanted, but Marina likes, and I like the idea too, of a semicircle, still in that corner of the Rushmore intersection with the Boston Post Road, down a little bit where we lost trees during, I think, Sandy. But the new concept was to have a semicircle of trees facing the water so that the street is screened off, and then to do understory planting, which now that we've heard Doug Ptolemy's presentation, I realize is a really important idea. So that way there can be sort of a variation. It's not just a tree thing, it's tall trees with understory and benches, but I guess it's still in the planning stage. Citizen Pruners, as you all know, the fall workshop was canceled. The next workshop will be in the fall of 2023 because we don't really want to train people to prune in the spring, since we don't really want them pruning in the spring in the growing season. So we'll schedule that as we get closer to it. New business there. I sent around the revised list of recommended species, and I may have goofed on that. I know we've talked about species in this meeting, and watching our experience with different trees, also knowing that we want more natives. There are a few on the revised list, like London Plains, that are not native, but that do a lot of other good work. But we've taken off things like ginkgo and others that don't really have any, they don't even create much shade, much less support wildlife. Or Coosa dogwoods, which are not single stem and they need a lot of pruning. anyway, I put it up on our website as the recommended list of species, and I think we'd approved it at one point, but I don't really remember. So if you've looked at it, it can always be modified more as we get suggestions, but I'd like to just approve it if you all, did you take a look at it? Are there any questions about it? It's attachment 14. Can we pull that up, or can I pull that up and show you? I have it, I can get it, I think. Attachment 12, 13. Okay, it's on my screen. Nora, can I share this or not?
You should be able to, because I shared before.
But I don't know how.
Bottom, if you move your mouse along the bottom, it should be a green button, share screen.
Okay, wait, let me put it down again. Oh, there we go.
Got it?
Share screen, and then I pull the document up. And now it's on my desktop. Anyone see it?
Got it. Good.
Oh, wow, cool. So these are the ones we've been planting, a lot of them. I left Kwanzaa cherries on the list as well. Well, actually, both.
Bev, can you make it a little larger, bottom right of that window where it says 100%? Can you move it to the right, make it a little larger? Yeah, great, thank you.
Like that's
Oh, well, you could open that window bigger and we'll see it all then.
some of that's just comments. Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, these are the small trees that we've been planting. They work well. Some of them are native, some of them are not. It's hard to find small native. I mean, I guess it's the cherries mainly that are not native. The others are good. Service berries we haven't been planting lately. They do spread out very wide. So they're a little bit of a challenge as a street tree, although they're great other places. We haven't planted them for a couple of years because the new ones coming in seem to have some sort of pathogen on them. But maybe, we might be able to get back to them. We've been planting, we try to get variety in our planting, and so it would be nice to have more. Okay, let me try and move this up. Nope. I want to go to the medium.
You have to, you see, when you move your cursor, you'll see a little gray bar on the right in the F column. Move to the F column. There you go, and pull that down.
I'm so glad I've got you here to coach me. Okay, these are the medium tall ones, which we have a little bit more variety with them. I should say, Marlene, you had recommended pawpaws, but Jerry didn't think they would be a good choice here. And I'm not sure why, but I looked them up, and there are two reasons that I would think could be problems. One is they have a very long taproot, so they're very hard to transplant.
Okay.
And then they also have very large fruit that they drop, which people might not like.
I think Sean had recommended poplars, right, Sean?
He's muted.
Oh.
I think he did, though. I think you're right. So
He recommended poplars, and I like walnuts, as you know, for
I do. I
parks.
like them too.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me find the.
Or even hickories. Hickories would be nice for parks.
Okay, walnuts. Yeah, walnuts are great. And you're right, they're both good, actually.
Yeah.
Parks better than streets because they do drop their nuts and they're large.
Yeah.
The acorns, which are not so large.
Right.
Anything?
But I don't think that's a problem with poplars.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know why. This list is from before that conversation. That was fairly recent recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do
And
you spell
sycamores
poplar?
aren't here.
How do you spell poplar?
Poplar.
LAR.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we don't do sycamores anymore for large trees?
We do London plains,
Instead
which
of
are a hybrid. They're not native as a
Oh.
result. Sycamores are native.
Ah,
The London plant, but they seem to have a problem. I don't know what it is, but people have started planting the London planes instead.
oh,
And they're fabulous. They're incredibly durable trees. And they've got that beautiful bark, which the sycamores have also.
uh-huh.
But they tolerate everything. Droughts, floods, salt, heat.
Mhm.
So, and they grow quickly. So, but they look like sycamores. They just are more durable. Tupelos have done well in parks, but not so well on the streets that I've seen. That doesn't seem to be other people's experience, but because I remember talking to a landscaper who was astonished when I said that, but I wish he would come plant here because I've had no luck with them as street trees. But they're really nice. They're not as tall. Honey locusts are durable. They don't create the same dense shade, which is why developers love to put them in.
Mm.
And several kinds of oaks. There may be other oaks that we should be considering. I don't know. These have been working well for us. The regular white oak, the swamp white oak, and the northern red oak, which is very prevalent. We've tended to plant white oaks because there are a lot of red oaks. They seem to, at least this northern red oak, seems to self-seed pretty easily and do very well. But just for diversity's sake, we've been going with the white ones because they have pretty different immune systems.
Do we not do birches anymore?
They're not, no, we don't, because we're below the southern range where they
Oh,
do well. I know some people have them. I looked it up, and certainly if temperatures are going to get warmer, then
yeah,
that'd be even farther below that. So it just didn't seem like a good idea.
okay.
Any other questions or suggestions? So if I add these 3 tall trees, walnuts and hickories and poplars, can we vote on, I'll repost it to the website? Is that okay?
I think we need to check if they are salt tolerant, aerosol salt, we have to check a few things out
You're talking about the new ones?
before we put them on the list.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we
Three
already know
additional trees.
some of these, for example, the black cherry, I'm not going to be putting on busy streets because they don't do well with road salt. I mean, they're okay on streets that don't get a lot of traffic or parks.
Should we make a note here, like of which trees are not suitable as a street tree, which trees are more suitable as a park tree?
It's a good idea.
Because, for someone who goes online to, find out what kind of tree should I be planting. Yeah. It would be good to have a column that mentioned that.
Okay.
Thanks, Bev.
Okay, that's a really good idea, actually. So it would be a really useful tool for people. Okay, so we'll put that off. I'll bring that back to the next meeting with changes. Oh, here we go. This is what we were talking about earlier. There was a situation of a tree that had to come out because it was killed as a result of Con Ed pruning, not this year, but a few years ago. And that's the file that I'm hoping that Matt will be able to build up with information, because it can be both examples and also research. There was a suggestion, Jerry made a suggestion, and Gail was very interested in talking about it, of having a liaison to the planning board so that when they have tree issues to consider, someone with a tree perspective could be there to speak up, even whether or not a member of the planning board, but just be an advisor in a sense. They meet twice a month, I think, so that is taking on a lot of meetings. I don't feel that I can do it. Is there anyone who loves to go to meetings? Would like to do that? No. The other possibility,
What if we split it, like one person goes to one meeting, the other person, I don't know if that would work in terms of continuity of certain issues. I don't know.
I don't know if they'd like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are a lot of applications, you spend a lot of time not at, I'm not sure that it's a good use of anybody's time to attend all the planning board meetings simply to be a liaison for trees. So I think what Jerry had been recommending was a person, and we don't have that in our code, we have to change the code, where there was a person who was on both committees. So they needed to participate in all aspects of both committees, both the planning board and the tree committee. So it might be better to have a discussion with the planning board to see when they're going to be discussing trees, because it's only a portion of what they discuss.
Yeah,
So in New Jersey, for that person to go to the meetings made sense, because that person voted on every aspect of the planning applications and was an active member of the tree committee. But just to have a tree committee person spend, 2 to 3 hours twice a week at a meeting is kind of a big imposition.
yeah.
Wait, twice a month, not twice a week,
Sorry,
correct?
twice a month, yeah. Yes, not twice a week.
God.
We'd never get anybody to be on the planning board if it was twice a week.
Of course, one thing that occurs to me is one member of the planning board is Susan Oakley, who
No,
is,
she's not. She's not
in
a
the-
member of the planning board.
oh, I didn't know that.
She's a paid consultant.
Oh, okay. Take that back. Okay. Well, let's,
Can I just clarify something?
yeah,
Two things were mentioned. One was have somebody on both the planning board and the tree committee. And then it was said, just have somebody from the tree committee go to the planning board when they discuss trees. So which one are we leaning towards?
I think we're probably trying to figure it out.
Okay,
We're considering the options.
okay.
And
I mean, the village would have to change, the law. The planning board is full now, so there's not an empty space. That's part of state law. So I don't know how they did that in New Jersey, but I'm not sure it's practical to have somebody who's on both boards. And we have a policy that you can't be on 2 boards, so.
I don't see why we need to have someone on 2 boards. And isn't anyone allowed to attend a meeting, a resident?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Maybe we could, if they know we're in attendance, maybe we could possibly request that any issues regarding trees be brought up at the beginning of the meeting, or I don't know.
well, it depends on what, they hear applications in order, so they're not going to take an application out of order. But I think that to make it more effective, there should just be a liaison from the tree committee to the planning board. And just have to figure out the most effective way for that to work for the liaison and for the planning board. I
Is
mean,
the planning board interested in doing this? Do you know?
I don't know.
I haven't talked to them about it.
Nora, is that something you could find out for us?
I can find out. I will
Thank you.
make an inquiry.
Thank you. And then let
The
us
thing
know.
about the inquiry is that we don't have someone to do it, so it's sort of,
Right, but they may have a suggestion about how to do it too. I mean, it's clear that they are interested in trees, so
they
it's,
are, yeah.
it's.
And we have an opening now.
Right, but they don't.
Right.
Okay. So this is to be continued. Then Nora brought up a suggestion of something called block watchers, which I guess you've seen in the city.
Well, so in New York City, in the Upper East Side Historic District, which is quite a large historic district, there's a system of, well, I think there is. I worked there a long time ago, but there was a volunteer from every block who agreed to walk their block or whatever. I don't know. It didn't necessarily have to be the block they lived on, but a block once a week And if any work was being done without a certificate of appropriateness from landmarks mounted on the building, they would contact an individual, employee at the New York City Landmarks Commission. And then the commission would take care of it. So it was just a way of making sure that no work was done in this district without the appropriate approval. So there seems to be, I mean, you may not catch somebody, it takes a lot longer to do work on a building than it does to
cut down a tree.
But if there's somebody who's watching their area, I mean, it was one of your members who alerted the village to the fact that there were those trees being cut down in Orienta. So it just, it might formalize it so that there's somebody who's looking at a block every week.
Well, the same thing on Henry, there's someone in the neighborhood.
That was somebody in the neighborhood, right? That was who thought about it. But I mean,
It was actually,
this, somebody commits to taking a walk once a week on their block. And if they notice something, if they see something, they say something.
Like a tree needs pruning or, or some damage or something like that.
Or if a tree is, or if someone has cut down a tree, if the tree has been removed, there might be a permit. I mean, we don't post permits for tree removals. In the city, you have to post, it's a certificate of, it's a work permit from landmarks. So you have a building permit and you have a permit from landmarks. If you're in an historic district.
okay, that to actually implement something that would take a huge amount of, recruiting people.
Maybe it doesn't have to be formalized. Maybe if we sufficiently publicize the law, we'll get more feedback.
That could be, and also people, for example, with the situation on Henry Street, we heard from several different residents, and they did not know who to get in touch with. And the answer, which is new, is that the building department now has staff working on the weekend, and they're doing this specifically so that people don't do illegal takedowns on the weekend when theoretically they're going around for enforcement.
And it's not just for trees. I mean, they enforce the building code.
Yeah, I know, but we're concerned about trees. They were the people to call. So, I guess it's part of disseminating the information about the tree law. You can also disseminate the information about what to do.
That may be enough. That might be enough.
Yeah, that might be enough. Okay. Okay, the tree law. We now have a winter tree walk date. Got again.
Oh, good.
Yeah, who's great. It's going to be January 23rd. It just came up about a day ago. It's be 1 o'clock again, and we actually, she's looking at a couple locations, so we don't know where it will be. We're not going to meet before the 23rd, so we'll make sure that everybody gets the information about it, and of course the village posts it and also e-blasts it. So
Is that with Jocelyn again?
Jocelyn, yeah.
Great.
We're considering an area, and Jocelyn's going to take a look at it. It's a park that I never knew existed until someone took me there recently. If you go down Fenimore, it's just before the 95 overpass on the right side if you have the water behind you. And it goes from there to, is it Grand Street or?
I don't know.
I
don't know where it is.
Okay. It's a narrow strip
Where?
of land that is, or a narrow path on a narrow strip of land that is between 95, which is elevated, then you have the path, and then at the bottom is the Sheldrake River. And it's just this strip that goes right there. Jocelyn is going to take a look and see, if there's enough diversity of species or if there's something, of interest there. It's a
Also
project-
parking, can people?
Yeah, I can check out parking.
Yeah.
I think people would have to park on Fenimore and then maybe walk like a block or something like that. You can't park on the other side, like by, I can't think of the name of the street, but it's the street that, it's by, like sanitation department or public works rather, the
Fayette.
DPW. It's perpendicular to Fayette. People take it as a shortcut to Old White Plains Road. Well, whatever.
Anyway. Okay,
It runs along the river. There's that little footbridge.
Mhm.
Anyway, she's gonna check it out. We had some other thoughts too, like maybe Warren Park. So Jocelyn, I totally trust her that she'll make a good judgment on an area that would be
Oh,
good.
yeah, she
Wow.
makes, I mean, she sees things that I have walked by for 30 years and never noticed.
Yeah. She's wonderful.
Anyway,
Just
that
have a-
information,
One quick question. You mentioned Park. Nora, I think you were gonna look to see how to spell Megan Park.
MEIGHAN.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
that, anyone else have anything we should be talking about? No, okay. Next meeting, Nora tells us, is going to be January 27th. Is that a Thursday, Nora?
It's a Thursday.
Probably online, given what's going on in the business.
What was the date?
January
January
27th. 27. Okay. And Matt, you will be sworn in and able to vote at that point.
Right.
Okay. I mean, this has been really awesome, guys. I like this. This is
Oh,
fun.
that's great. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Welcome, really. I'm very glad too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really cool hearing about all the different areas and the solutions that you guys come up with. I think it's really great.
Yeah, I know I've learned so much just from being on the committee and all the stuff we do.
Yeah.
I hope maybe you'll consider becoming a citizen pruner when we have the training in the springtime.
So I might be de facto already.
Okay, that's great. I might be going out doing some pruning on a weekend day, if it's not too cold, and you're welcome to join me
Okay.
and I can
And we're-
teach you a
and we're-
bit.
And we have to say thank you to Sean. And we're sorry we're losing Sean, but we're glad he found a nice Rhinebeck neighbor. Always looking out for the trees.
We've been texting the whole time.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, everybody, thank you. It's 9:12. Can we have a motion to adjourn? Marlene, Ellen seconds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody.
Right.
Good night.
Hey, Happy New Year if we
Happy
don't.
New Year.
Happy New Year, happy
Holidays, Happy New Year.
holidays. Be well and safe, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.